Morning everyone. Hopefully we're live on, I can see we're live on YouTube. Let's see if we are running on Facebook as well. Yes, we are. Hi Jean. Jean's up and on it. So we have to tell Phil actually, because I was having a chat with him and I can see your comments via the Switcher app, which is really quite cool. So I can actually see the comments on Facebook and on YouTube in the same place, which is wonderful. So good morning Ilona, morning Christine, morning Debbie. So it looks like my red comments are on YouTube and my blue comments are on Facebook. That's really interesting, isn't it? So I just want to share the link over into the Crafting with Sentimentally Yours and all that sort of malarkey, unless somebody's done it already. So wonderful samples from the design team as always. There we go. That's all shared. So don't anybody else share it, because there'll be loads of shares within the Facebook group. So if you're not already a member, please do join the Crafting with Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours group on Facebook. It is a private group, so you do need to ask, and Phil will check that you're a bona fide crafter and let you in. And it's a wonderful place to see the sneak peeks of all of the design teams samples, and you know, there's like a freebie Friday that he's doing at the moment as well. So so that's fantastic. Right, I'm going to close my laptop because I don't need that, which is wonderful. We're learning how to use this app. Yes, I'm here. So yes, so Phil is launching the collection on Create and Craft today at 12 noon and 5 p.m. And you can also buy the stamps from Phil's website, although the discount on the individuals won't go on until 7:30 this evening due to Create and Craft rules. But I do have a discount on my website at the moment. So my website is juliawattscrafts.co.uk. And for all the items on the show, if you go to the As Seen on TV section, all the details are there, but you need to enter code yours10 in the discount code box at checkout, and you'll get 10% off the new Notebook Botanicals and other items that are on the show, which I don't have a lot of stock left at the moment, but don't tell anybody that I'm doing that. Phil knows, so it's not, it is actually with his blessing. So who have we got? We've got Angela's here, lovely samples from Angela, and we've also got Janice, Elaine, Kathleen, and yeah, so I mean, while we're waiting, I'll just show you a few of the samples actually from the design team. So you can see this wonderful one here from Lozzie, and she's built up her own background there. She's got some wonderful wings in there. You can see one of the wonderful wildflowers in the corners. Here's another one from Lozzie. Very simple, quite serene, I think, that one. Really lovely. Let's have a look. Here's one from Helen. I like this one. Decorated the front of a journal with one of the wonderful wildflowers. When I will go through the collection, I won't take as long as Phil does, but you can see that the A5 sets, you've got lots and lots of elements here from the A5 sets. Also the trio frames from a couple of years ago work really well. Let's see if we can find one from somebody else. Here's one of Angela's. and she's used one of the A6 stamp sets. That one is Serenity, and you can see you can dress them up with flowers and all the other kind of things that you like to use. Love this one from Ilona, absolutely love this one. So you've got a bit of paint going on at the moment around the background. Again, that's Serenity in the centre, and lots of extra stamps stamped around the edge. So that's just a few, just to show you. None of them are mine. I'll show you mine later live. Yes, so they are beautiful samples. It is a stunning collection, and it's like a system again. You know, when Phil brings these collections out and they're systems, and these do actually work really well together. I'm not sure how many people we've got watching because I haven't got my laptop on, but we'll just we just go through the collection very quickly. So the collection is a set of 4 A6 stamp sets and 4 complementary A5 stamp sets. So the A6 sets, you can see they're obviously bigger than the packaging because we have to get Phil's lovely photograph from 20 years ago in there. And so you can see that, or they're almost A6. The actual packaging is A6, so they're almost A6. 20 people, yeah. That's on Facebook, isn't it? Yes, so that's fine. Remember that the videos are still always available to watch either on my YouTube channel Julia Watts or on my Facebook page Julia Watts Crafts. Yeah, it is actually quite nice to put it on your telly. I was watching Phil on my telly on YouTube on Wednesday night, which is rather wonderful. So if you've got a smart TV, you can pull up YouTube. So you can see we've got notebook lines. We've got some kind of dots going on in the background. Look out for these squares because they're going to come into another really useful stamp set as well. So that means you can build on these. So you could make yourself an A6 stamp set, an A6 stamp, and I have actually got them all stamped out actually. So let's show you. Let's get the right ones, because I like to stamp a few out while they're in my stamping platform. So I've got a few. Where's that one? This one. So there it is, all stamped out. You can see I'll put it really close so you can see the detail on it. So you've got these squares going on. You can obviously fussy cut these if you want to. And this is on the super smooth watercolour card. Absolutely fantastic. So that's your first one. That one's Peaceful. I can't remember all the names of them. Serenity. This always reminds me of Firefly. Did you ever watch Firefly on the TV? I love Firefly. And there's a movie as well. There was a series and there was a movie, and it got canned. They only had one series, and I don't know why. It was really good. Anyway, that's a tangent. So this one, I'll show you this stamped out because it's easier to see it when it's stamped out, isn't it? This one is Serenity, as I said, and this is quite a tall flower, and you've got lots and lots of splats going on in the background, and you've got circles going on here, and a tiny bit of kind of inferred script, if you like. Really pretty. That's all right. I've only just started, Susan. No problem. It doesn't matter if you're late. Then we've got this one, which is Calmness. See, he hasn't given them proper names, because sometimes if they're proper names, you think, oh, it has to look like this flower, but they're not. They're kind of imaginary flowers, if you like. So this one's got lots of kind of rivets in the background on this one. So they're all different. And that one's Calmness. And then we've got Tranquility. This might be my favourite, I'm not sure. And this again has got a few splats going on in the background, but again, really lovely. Hi Jane. Hi Bev. Caroline. I might have to get it out and watch it again, you know, Caroline. Caroline's saying she loved Firefly in the film Serenity. Yeah, I might have to get them out again. Yeah, so and the guy, is it Nathan Fillion or something? He was in, was it Desperate Housewives? And he was also in a really weird one as well. That was on Netflix. Comedy. Anyway, that's those. So to complement those, we've also got A5 stamp sets. And so you can see on here, you've got this one that's on the smaller stamp set, but they're bigger. So you can actually make yourself, not a lot bigger, but you can actually make yourself kind of scenes with them. Not a lot bigger, only a little bit. And you can add them to your big backgrounds, which is what we're going to do today. You've got this one. This is the peaceful, isn't it? This is a shorter stem version of it, and you've got an extra bit of foliage. And I know on one of Helen's samples, if I can find it, she's used that around the edge. I bet you I can't find it. I'm sure she'll post it. Yeah, I can't find it on here. This is the trouble when I'm looking on my iPad. They're quite small. This is lovely, isn't it? One of Ilona's. That shows you a scene that you can create with the wonderful wildflowers and the wonderful wings, which I'll show you next. I'm all over the place today, have you noticed? All over the place. So yeah, wonderful wings. The wildflowers has got 8 stamps in it. Wonderful wings has got 15 stamps in it. So you've got a mix here of butterflies with more solid detail in them and open detail, and you've got some dragonflies in there as well. You've got some ladybugs, and you've got some bees as well, different sizes. So that's a really, really great set. What's Sharon saying? What was a great idea that Sharon had? Am I missing some? Julia, what's the discount code again? Yep, that's the one in the discount code box at checkout on my website. So it has to be on there. Okay, I'm getting away with it at the moment, so we'll see. Right, so this one is a go-to. So remember that in the actual A6 stamp sets, you've got circles, you've got squares, you've got splats, and you've got those kind of rivet things. You've got all of those in this set here, which is your notebook textures. And don't forget that you can also use your what's it called, Tempting Textures, or whatever the other 2 texture sets were that Phil's done. You can also use those as well. So we've got extra, lots and lots of circles. You've got a squiggly line here, lots of rivets, lots of splats. You've even got your own kind of, let's turn it this way. You've got your own notebook kind of lines in a couple of places. Absolutely love these. These are just absolutely go-to, you know, never get rid of them kind of set. And then finally, we've got this one here, which is your postmark paraphernalia. And it's such a shame that Paola won't be doing one of Phil's shows, because I'd like to see Paola get round paraphernalia. Yeah, so this one I think is a wonderful stamp here. Absolutely love that one. Obviously you've got postmarks. You can also expand on your Flora Musica. You remember Flora Musica stamps are A6. So if you want to make them bigger, you can use some of these stamps and some of your texture stamps, even some of your butterflies, to actually expand your Flora Musica out and make them bigger. So you've got a pen in here as well. You've got your compass marks, or whatever they're called. A little envelope as well. You've got lots of tickets. You've got a pointy finger. So there's lots and lots in there. So there's the whole collection itself is just absolutely wonderful. And I know that Phil has done a bundle on Honeypot Crafts website, so you can buy all 8 of those together, and that the discount is on that now. Obviously, Phil and I are very small businesses, so we do appreciate your support. And that's all I'll say on that. Right, okay, so those are all our new stamps. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. This is the only sample I finished. I've actually stamped quite a lot out, and I've fussy cut quite a lot out. And I did actually share this to the group earlier on, so if I kind of give that a bit of a wiggle, you might be able to see the paint that there is on the edge. And I quite like doing journal pages like this. This is a Studio Light die that I've cut it out with, which I think I've just sold out of, but it's kind of like a getting to know my stamps kind of thing, and you can pop it into your journal and flick through. If ever you've got writer's block or crafter's block, as I call it, you can think, oh yeah, I can do that, but I'll do it in blues or I'll do it in pinks, and it's a really good stepping stone to know what to do. And of course you could take your dies, so we could bring in, let's grab a couple of dies. You could bring in your squares and you could put a frame around a section of it. Obviously we'll be losing our words here, so just have your imagination going here a bit. So we could bring in a frame, pop a frame around that. Imagine that this is a white frame maybe, and then you've got a card within a frame. So it doesn't have to be a journal page, it's just a stepping stone for whatever creativity comes as a result. Hope that makes sense. So anyway, it's lovely. And I mean, on here I've got some texture going in the background. I've got some of the texture stamps in here. This is one of the wildflowers, a couple of butterflies you can see, some of the postmarks. Here's that wonderful stamp that I like that goes on the side, and it's just in the background there, but it's all about discovering whatever's on the page. Okay, so that's that. And of course you can do that with any of your backgrounds. I have got one that I can do on the vintage ledger page, so we could do one on there. But today, because I know a lot of you would look at this, and or some of you would look at this and think, I don't do journal pages, I don't need those stamps. So I'm going to make a card, but the kind of basis is coming from this. The idea is coming from this, but we're going to make a pretty card. Okay. So let's get all my bits ready. Got bits everywhere. I don't want to lose those bits. So let's have a look. So we're going to use watercolour card. Have I got another bit? Oh, I have got another bit. Shall we have a look at a few more samples while we're doing this? So we've got one here from Angela, and that's quite a subtle background, but it uses lots and lots of the elements from the textures in there. Forgive me if I've shown some of these before. That's just one using one of the A6 sets. That's Serenity with a few of the wonderful wings, and that's the wonderful one from Lozzie. And there's one here from Helen, and she's used Tranquility just on its side, and it's quite an empty background that she's got there. It's just a little bit of stamping from the textures and a few of the cogs, and she's got the grid die on there and some flowers, and so that absolutely wonderful. Okay, so there's another couple for you to look at. So let's start stamping. So I am going to go for my my blank journal page, even though I think I've just sold out. Phil's put them on the show, so I know that you'll be able to find them on his website still, if I haven't got any left. So I absolutely love this one. This one, you can put so much on it. So you can stamp over it, you can just add smaller elements. I was planning to do a live with some indigo blue stamps. So, you know, you can do absolutely loads. I've used my fairy hug stamps with it. Anything. Oh, look at this. Splats. Can you see my splats? I'm going to cover up my iPad when I do my splats. Are you all right, guys? Oh no, Bev, you definitely use your Studio Light journals to hold them in. Yeah, definitely. Right, so all we're going to do is just stamp it with Nocturne Versafine Clair. It could be the Morning Mist if you don't want it to be so prominent. The Morning Mist, which is the grey one, which I did the ledger page with, is going to be lighter. But I am going to go for black because I want to. And they're quite forgiving because there's so much distressed that's distressed on here. They're very forgiving, and it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. And it's a background. You don't need to stress over it in the slightest. Yeah, I'm just, Ilona's saying that she hasn't used a stamping platform once. Well, yeah, sometimes I'm just a little bit lazy and I just get my platform out. When I'm using my big backgrounds, I prefer to go on the A5 acrylic block. I don't like using my stamping platform because I think sometimes you get a little bit complacent and you think, it's all right, I can do it again, And sometimes, without realising, it moves ever so slightly and then your image isn't as good. So I do tend to use my A5 block with this. Versafine and Versafine Clair. Not a lot. Pam is asking what's the difference between Versafine and Versafine Clair. Versafine Clair tends to be a little bit juicier than the Versafine. The Versafine, they've changed the pads now. Beforehand, they used to have a lid that used to fold back and it was flappy. And because I've got little hands, it used to drive me round the twist. These are narrower ink pads, so they fit in my small hand a lot better, which is a really silly thing to say, but you know, I like it from that point of view. There's lots of different colours, and so with Versafine, there's only a handful. In fact, there's only 2 or 3 full-size ink pads in the colours, whereas Versafine Clair, I think there's about, it must be about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. There's about 20 colours of Versafine Clair in this size ink pad. Anywho, if you want to, you can turn it over, hold it firmly, don't move it, and you can press it and you get a slightly better image. But there's our journal page all done. I'm not cleaning that because I don't. I've got one that's already dry because it does take a little while to dry, although with the super smooth watercolour card it does kind of gobble the ink up quite quickly, so that's cool. So this is now where we're going to cover everything up. I'm going to get my towel out to try and stop things going all over the place. I don't know why Jean's telling somebody they're showing off. No idea. Right, so what we're going to use to get some colour down, we could use paint, but I'm not going to. What we're going to use is we're going to use a couple of distress spray stains. So we've got Crackling Campfire and we've got Kitsch Flamingos. So we've got a pink and an orangey red. And the reason I'm using distress stains rather than oxide is because this is just a dye ink. It's a liquid dye ink, whereas oxides have got pigment in, and pigment will hide some of my lines, whereas because it's opaque, whereas because this is dye, this is transparent, so I'll be able to see all my lines underneath. Is there a difference in the ink? There's not a lot of difference in the ink, no, Pam, between the Versafine and the Versafine Clair. Okay, so we're just going to go quite close with some of the Kitsch Flamingo. And I think, I don't know if you can see, although the it's not embossed, the ink has actually kind of resisted the spray a little bit, which I found really interesting when that happened. And then we'll have a bit of the Crackling Campfire as well. This lovely orangey red. And we can move some of that around a bit if we want to. So we can actually take some water and just move it so that we're not using all of our ink. And that will make it lighter. I'm not at this point worried about the edges at all, because I'm going to die cut it anyway. That just gets colour down. So then you want to leave that to dry. So I'm out of shot, aren't I? Right, so we can just leave that to dry. I'm going to just put it on my mat, because I've got one that is dry. And it's not going to clog because there's no mica in it at all. Where's my one that's dry? Here's my bits. Right. This one's dry, and as you can see, I've cut an overlay to it just because I'm going to put a stitch torn oval over the top, so it's going to have a frame around it. So it's already going to start looking a little bit prettier. Yes, Jean's saying a good idea to spray on an old towel. Yeah, some colours will actually stain it, but it doesn't matter, does it? It's an old towel. You know, the cat can have it when I finish with it. I've also taken a bigger piece and just inked around the edges. I obviously don't need to do that bit because this is going to go on there like so. But obviously I'm going to stamp on that and give it a bit more interest. But let's focus on this piece first. So I'm going to keep that line down there. We probably won't see it because we're going to put leaves and flowers and whatever on there, but it doesn't really matter. This is the start of my background. I've got to think about keeping these lines straight, because otherwise this is the trouble with ovals. It's going to drive me around the twist. So let's dust with an anti-static bag, because what I want to do is make sure the flower is nice and prominent. So I'm actually going to stamp with the VersaFine Clair and emboss with clear embossing powder. Hopefully you can see the difference. There's a bit of pink in there, there's a bit of that orangey red, so we've got a couple of different colours going on in the background. And I am going to go into my stamping platform because I want a good deep image. The problem with putting a frame around it is you've got to think about where things start and stop if you want to see them. But, you know, it'd be all right. It'd be all right. We're just making my journal page into a pretty card. That's what we're doing. So I'm going to take this one here, which is the one that coordinates with Tranquility in the A6. Just put it my line straight. Okay, don't they? Let's just put it in there for a minute and get my frame and see where. Yeah, that'll be fine. I mean, I could have it down a bit lower, but we've got loads of textures and things, so we can bring textures in to make it look like it's sitting on things. So that's going to be absolutely fine. This is the only one I'm going to stamp and emboss. Everything else is just going to be stamped. Come on, sticky stamp. I've not used it before. Move my magnets a bit. I've only got 3 magnets, have you noticed? I need some more of my 97 million magnets. So another couple. Just because I can. I like magnets. Are you forgetting to add the code? Do you want? Do you who? If you haven't added the code, do you want me to go and cancel your orders and then you can put them in again with the code? Do you want me to do that? Just tell me and I'll go and do that in a second. What are you like? Right, ink it within an inch of its knife. It's a new stamp. Give it a good old press. Give the ink a chance to actually settle into the card. Okay, Pam, thank you very much. I'll see if I can find something else that I can slip into your parcel, Pam. Thank you, Jane. Right, okay, so that looks perfect, doesn't it? Look, that's the first stamping of that stamp. Ooh, and that's absolutely perfect. Let's get some embossing powder on before it dries, because it will suck up the ink quite quickly. This one, Claire, does stay wet for quite a while, but it's on the super smooth watercolour card, so it kind of goes and sucks it all up. So we're talking crystal clear, super fine embossing powder. It's quite dark in here today, although it's not as dark as it was yesterday. It was lovely to have some rain yesterday. Give it a flick. So remember to always put your Sentimentally Yours embossing powders back in their pot. Although I anti-stat it, you don't necessarily need to, because the powders and the pot are anti-static. But I tend to do that because it's just a habit. And then if you do have a powder that isn't anti-static, then you're covered, aren't you? Now, should I run out of stock of anything, I will try and get some more stock on my website. As long as Phil's got it, then I'll try and grab some more. My current stock is actually on its way, but it's coming through every, so goodness knows when that'll come. But obviously we've got Royal Mail industrial action going on today, and also next Wednesday, so I'm trying to work around that as well. So now that's blacker, isn't it? It's more prominent, but everything else is going to be kind of in the background. I'll put that, I must remember to put that other stamp away in a minute. Right, so let's go to the extras in the set. There's one missing. Oh, of course, there's the one I've just used. Honestly, my brain is just completely puddled at the moment. Really is. I'll tell you what I'm going to do though. I am going to go into this, but not use the magnets. I'm just going to use it as a stamping mat, because you can do that. Let's get rid of all these flipping magnets. That's it. Look at this. Oh dear. It amuses me anyway. Bev Carter. Hello, Bev Carter. Hello, everybody, if I haven't said hello to you. Right, so we're on this wonderful notebook textures. So we're going to add some extra detail in here because we can. Absolutely. So let's go for some squares first. Let's go. I'm going to use a long block. In fact, we'll use the other side. And I'm just going to be into our... Now, I'm not worried about where... not turn again, the black. I'm not worried about fitting in my oval at this point. Try and keep your squares in in line with your lines on your background. Yeah, so some of these will disappear under part of the frame, which is absolutely fine, but you don't want them to stop, just stop before the frame. You want to have some movement going on. So let's have a couple of those. Let's have this one overlapping that one, because we can. I'm going to have dirty fingers before long. There's loads to choose from. Let's have some circles as well. I like this trio of circles. Let's have some of those going on down here. Maybe even off the page here. You are supposed to do 3 of these things, aren't you? I'll just ignore that. I'll do whatever rocks my boat. Obviously, I've got this paper on the back of my Press to Impress, so I'm not going to mess that up. Oh, I tell you what I should have done and I forgot. We do that now, actually, before we do any more stamping. So I got carried away and I forgot what I wanted to do. Hopefully we'll be all right and we won't smudge anything, but we'll soon find out, won't we? So what I was going to do was grab a little bit of cut and dry foam and some, where is it? Some white gesso. You could use black gesso if you wanted to, it doesn't really matter. And we need, what do we need? Oh yes. I did use the grid actually on my journal page. You see I've got grid in the background there. But I think we'll go for these cascading leaves. I think we'll have a little bit of that coming in. Let's see what that looks like. See, I'm going off piece. Not only have I forgotten, I'm going off piece, which could be a big mistake. So let's pounce. And you will find that you'll pick up some of the colour from the background. Do I like that? I'm not sure I do. It's always a mistake to go off piece. The smaller patterns are better. Why did I do that? That's why journal pages are fab. Because they go in your journal, and even if it's a mistake, it's something that you can learn from and think, right, I didn't like that, I'm not going to do that again. Right, we like that at the moment, right? Let's just get rid of this. I don't want to ruin my stencil. See if I can put that in some water. Wipe that off. It's your favourite stencil. It actually, Jean's saying that this Cascading Leaves is her favourite stencil. It looks fabulous with the texture paste and with either paint or the lustre powders added to it. It is, yeah, it makes a fabulous background. Fabulous background. Right, so that's that. And you first put all the stencils on the show. So we'll get rid of that so I can use that again. A little bit of the white gesso from Sentimentally Yours. Before I forget, I just want to give a quick shout out to Indigo Blue, because Indigo Blue are having their own launch of Christmas stamps tomorrow and Sunday. So I'm actually going to do a live for them at 11 AM tomorrow, and it will be on the Indigo Blue Facebook page and the Indigo Blue Tube YouTube channel. and I'll be playing with their Christmas stamps and new stencils and stuff like that. So I hope you can join me for that. Kay and Alfie are really good friends of Phil, so he won't mind me saying that. So anyway, let's go back in here and add some more. I don't need that. Add some more interest to the background. So obviously where the gesso's over the back, over the top of where I've stamped, yeah, you can, on some areas you can see through, but it's a little bit faded. But where I'm going over the top, it'll be different. It'll be over the top of the gesso. See, I'm not making any sense today at all. I like these kind of rivet bits. Rivet. Not rivet, rivet. That's fine, Ilona. Yeah, tomorrow Kay is doing a show at 9 AM. So she's doing lives at 9 AM. And I'll be at 11 AM. And then at Sunday, Kay's at 11 AM. And then Lorna is doing the 2 PM for them. So there's the 4 separate live demos that will be on their Facebook page and their Indigo Blue Tube. So let's have some of these rivets underneath. So it's kind of grounding it a little tiny bit. I do like the rivet. And maybe have some coming in over the top so you can actually go over where you've been before and building it up. I like this sort of stamp. You can make fabulous, fabulous backgrounds with these. Where's my bit of tissue? There it is. And there are, let's see if I can find one. You can see on that one, Lozzie's just used some of the textures in the background and just some butterflies. Really like that one. There's loads of splats around the edge of that one. I think that's one of Alison's or David's as they come together in a pair. And this one here, another one of Ilona's. Can't buy indigo. That's because you're spelling it wrong, Sharon. Indigo blue is all one word, and I'll show you what it is actually on Facebook. There we go, indigo blue. And then on YouTube, that's what it is. Okay, there we go. And we're back at me. Right. It's good this interacting, isn't it? I can't do this on the telly. I so prefer doing this than on the telly. It's so much better. Jean's just said, this demo is riveting. You are an absolute loon, Jean. I love you to bits. Oh dear. I love it a bit. She's so funny. Look at that splat. Look at that stamp. You can you see it's all coming out of the edge. That's an amazing stamp. I love this stamp. See, I obviously haven't had time to use all of them. They're tremendous. Love these stamps. Should we have another? No, it's not. I don't want to do 3s all the time. Crafting is not. It doesn't have rules. Actually, I do like that back. Let's have a look. See what that would look with my. Because I need words on here. I've already done some words. There we go. We need some embellishments as well. I've done some of those. So these are from the tree. These are from the Inspired. You can just have live and love, which is quite a nice thing to have. They kind of stand out, don't they? It's going to be embellished within an inch of its life as well, so don't worry about that. So we use those words. We might put a bit more in the background, but I think what we'll do is we'll move away from textures and we go to the paraphernalia. I'm amazed I can say that actually. 2009-ish. I don't think I wasn't on, yeah, I didn't start telly until I had my shot from 2008 to 2011 in the March, I think. So I think I started TV December 2011 because it was 10 years last December. Can somebody sort this best adult thing? How do they get in there? How do we get rid of all that rubbish? Hang on a sec. Why are they in there? I know Bev normally takes care of that for me. Let's get rid of that. Report. Why do they do this? Haven't they got anything better to do? Bill didn't get these. Nearly got them. I think they've all gone. Yeah, they've all gone. Don't like things like that. NEC, did you? Thank you, Bev. Right, so we're going to use the paraphernalia. So we're going to add, I've got some bits to put over the top, but we're going to add some bits behind as well. I do love this one, but it's better to, I think it's better when it's, better when it's on the, oh, we could put it there. Let's do that because I want to use it. So we could have it along the edge of the thingy, what's it like that, the line there. Need another block. I thought I'll have to do 2 demos, but this one's taking ages, isn't it? I'm sorry about that, but I'm having a lot of fun. Yes, Sharon, it was on YouTube. We quite often get some adult kind of channels that spam us, which are quite annoying. Love, 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 love this stamp. And it's all in the background. Look at that. I love that stamp. I absolutely love it. Yes, I was troll hunting. Got rid of them. Got rid of them. Right, so we can also have some postmarks in the background as well. Oops, there we go, hitting the camera as always. Let's make sure this is up the right way, shall we? With love, it says. Oh, it says with love. Let's have that one there. Just in the background. And we'll just do perhaps one more. And decisions. There's so many. Honestly, there's so many. Let's have this triangular one because that's quite an interesting one. Don't know what countries have triangular ones, but I know some countries have weird shaped stamps, don't they? Where will we have that one? Let's have that one up there, like that. Okay, so I think I could go on forever, but let's just stop. Let's step away from the background, Julia. Hopefully you can see the potential of these. They're just tremendous stamps. Phil has done another cracking job with this. what would we be doing now? We'd be there now. We'd be setting up now at the studio. It is one of the downsides of YouTube that we get the trolls, yes, but on Facebook it keeps saying that I'm playing unauthorised music, so it won't allow me to put things onto YouTube. So I've lost 3 lives that I can't put onto YouTube because of that, even though I wasn't. And they never get back to you. Right, so we've got that there. What I've also got is a load of things cut out, so we can add. Let's show you where we're going with this. So we've got some wonderful wings. Where's my jobby? Let's get rid of this in a minute. Oh, I've got to stamp around the edges as well, haven't I? Oh, I'll do that in a sec. You put your foam around it and it changes it. So we've got butterflies that we can bring in. So let's pull that down a bit. It kind of just sets it off, doesn't it? In fact, sometimes they look absolutely fantastic white. Remember, we're going to have perhaps our live and our love in here somewhere. However, we've also got loads of tickets. I've done loads of fussy cutting. It's quite, I mean, it's a little bit challenging cutting it out of the super smooth card, but you can see I've been quite busy. You can also use, you can get rid of the antennae. You can also use the pens as, let me hold that up, as bodies for the butterflies, which is, I did see somebody in the DT do that, so it's not my idea, but that's quite cool, isn't it? And then, so we can also do, that one's a bit big though for that one, so I wouldn't do for that. And we can also have a hand pointing to live if we wanted to. It's going to be upside down there, so we won't have that one there. But we've got some tickets that we can use as well. So we've got first class and the one that actually says tickets, so we can have a couple of those. I do quite like that one as well. I don't know where I'll put that one because I'm going to put flowers on here as well. So I think actually from embellishment point of view, that might be it. So that's good because we've got to colour those in as well. So keep those for another day. When I have got an idea with the small ones, which will be another live, so the A6 stamps, which will be another live or a video that I record. I'm not sure which, but I've definitely got at least that to do. Right, so anyhow, so those are the bits we're going to keep. Let's do our background as well while we're at it. So we know that we've got to do our corners. I do quite like that. I think it's a loner, isn't it? I'll show you. I'm not going to do it though because I'm not going to nick all of Elaine's ideas, but pretend you've stamped those. So you could stamp, you have your there we go. You could have your pens in the corners, which make fab corners, but we don't want to do that. We're actually going to stamp. But I know that she's done it. Let's find Ilona's on here. So you can see there on one of Ilona's samples, she's got the pens in the corners. And I think she's done it on that one, isn't it? No, she hasn't. I lied. That one. Oh, what's that one there? Ah, that's the one I was trying to find that Helen did. So remember the wonderful wildflowers? There's some foliage, just leaf stamps. And so you can see in the background there that Helen's used the leaf stamp. Now, I mean, there's 2 images on there, but you could just do a DL size card with just one of the images, which would be fantastic. Right, let's put that away for a second. And let's do our background Is there anything else that needs to dry? I don't think so. Right, so let's just stamp it. Let's not go into the platform now. We want some textures around the edges. I think we are going to go for textures rather than anything else. And I probably will do them. I mean, you can do it in your stamping platform, so all corners are the same, but let's do them freehand and see what it looks like. Well, I quite like that one. That's quite cool. The rectangular kind of boxes. We could use that. Rectangular box. Of course, all the corners don't need to be the same. We do them like this. That's what we do. We just turn them round. So they'll be the same but different. Remember, we've got Pitch Flamingo and Crackling Campfire Distress Stains in the background, which you will find on my website. And just a reminder, that's me. And with the products on the shows, Phil shows, you can get 10% discount for that. There is so much you can do with these stamps. And let's go for, I think it's quite nice to mix circles with them. So I think trio or a duo. Oh, let's go for my favourite trio. Go here, and I'm going to go slightly off the page, which means I'll probably have to clean my desk, which I hate doing. I hate cleaning. It's such a waste of time. I'm quite bold, and then we're going to fill in with some I think I'm getting away with it because it's just off the edge and there's a lip with the card. I might not have to do any cleaning. Yes, happy with that. See how it's building up. So bring in my oval. So I'm quite liking that. Now we bring in some rivets, maybe. I like rivets, or some splats. Let's bring in rivets first because I like rivets. Working in a space that's about 6 inches, as you do. I could happily do this all day. No pressure there, Bev. Bev's saying she's looking forward to my Indigo Blue live. No pressure. I love doing lives. Okay, so it's just quite difficult to fit everything in at the moment. Let's go for some splats. This is a bit like, you could use this particular one, I think, like, you'll see it in a minute. You could use it like snow, I think. So let's have it actually. Yeah, let's have it this way. So it's like snow. Fab, absolutely fab. In fact, let's have some. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. It's the other end of my block. What am I like? Oh dear, Julia, get a grip. And let's do it on the other side as well, just because we can. It's a great over the top stamp, as in stamping over everything else. And I haven't really thought about this. I just thought I'd just stamp around the edges. So, you know, sometimes it's better not to have a plan and to just go with it and see where it takes you. Again, you could just do a journal page just to get to know your stamps. I think it's very important. Actually, I think it's very important for people to journal, to kind of get your ideas out there, especially if you don't know if something's going to work, because it's so much easier to keep it in a journal, even if it works or not. You don't have to show anybody your journal, and you can even put notes on it and say, I did this, but I should have done this because I don't like it. And that's just as valuable as something that, in fact, more valuable than if something's perfect. I do like this squiggly line as well. Oh, that splat. What does that one look like? Let's go for this splat again, because I like this splat. In fact, we won't do all the way around because we've got less space just here. Look at that splat. Love that splat. It's going to go over the edge there. And we're going to go over that corner there. We're going to go over that corner there. And then maybe, yeah, there's this squiggly line that feels done. I think that might complete it actually. We could go, you could layer, because of the way these stamps are drawn, you could layer so many different things on top and, you know, really go to town with it. It is a fantastic collection, it really is, really is. So now if we bring in our other background, you can see that that's going to go on top of there like so, and it all fits in nicely. Win-win. I'm so pleased I still get to play with these stamps. Right, so that's that. I think that's all the stamping that we need to do. Well, I know it's all the stamping we need to do. So what we'll do, I think, is we need to do some splats and some edging and stuff. So that needs to dry. So what I've got is this is a natural sponge. So you find you know, some kind of DIY stores used to do them. You can do fantastic textures on your walls with these, and I used to do them years ago, different colour paints. But you can also use this with your your paints in your craft. So I've got the Flawless Media metallic paint, the Vintage Gold here, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of that onto my craft sheet. Like so. Do I need a bit more? I do need a bit more, right, okay. Thinking of what I need it for before, you know, because you tidy up and you think, oh, I've got a tiny bit that I need to use, right, what else do I need? There it is. So I've got one of the Shabby Daisies here, and I'm going to use that as a stamen. So I'm going to use that, and I think what we'll do, will we need any water? It's quite damp. You'll find that there's, when you get a natural sponge, it's solid, it's rock hard. So you just put it into some water and manipulate it, and then it goes soft. And then when it dries out again, it goes rock hard again. So you just keep on doing that with it. So we're just going to add some paint to our sponge, and I'm just going to sponge just around the edges with my natural sponge. So you can see we're just adding a little bit of colour to the edge. You could, I mean, it kind of almost takes over from splats, so you can get away without splatting by using a sponge like that. So it just adds a little bit of texture. And I did do it along the edge of my, that's what I did along the edge of my journal page. That's with the sponge as well. Just about to see that. And we're going to just go onto the daisy as well. So it's a little bit mottled. So no extra water added to this because the sponge is actually quite damp. And in fact, I think I will do that on here rather than splat because it's less messy. So there's just the odd bit of gold paint. I have to tell Phil this because then he won't get so messy, will he? And I won't get it on my acrylic blocks. So that sponge is now just going in some water, and it'll just clean up. You can see from my sponge it's a little bit dirty, so it does, some colours do stain it, but it's not going to damage the sponge. I've had sponges for years. In fact, I think I had some when we did some workshops, and I've got a big bag of them. No, rag rolling is different, Jean. Jean's saying it was called rag rolling. Rag rolling is when you take a rag and you put paint on it, and then you kind of screw it up, and then you kind of roll it over your wall. I did rag rolling as well. This is sponging, this is different. Right, so what else do we need to do? Oh yes, we also need, while we're doing this, I'll do the construction in a bit. We are going to do a couple of flowers. So these are your shabby blooms. So I've got a couple of those. These are out of your, what do you call it? Your super smooth card, your watercolour card. And we're going to use the burnt orange, which goes really well with the crackling campfire. If you want a pink, then the pink you need to use, if you prefer pink than orange, is, which one is it? It's the lighter one. It's this one. It's the rose pink. So that's going to go very well with the Kitsch Flamingo. Right. So if you're going to add a bit of colour to them, you want to do it before you shape. So where did that bit of sponge go? There it is. Looking good. We get in there. The code, here's the code. What's 12 on YouTube? Somebody's, Christine, you put 12. Oh, there's only 12 people watching on YouTube. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, well, that's all right. It's fine. Code, and it's like that's on my website. Okay. Order the vintage gold. Jean, if you want to order the vintage gold, put your order in, put a code in, and I'll refund the postage and add it to your other order. That's absolutely fine. If anybody does that, if you forget something, sometimes I don't always notice, especially if I've got lots and lots of orders. So just put a note. Oh, that's far too much. There's lots in here. So I've got doing with the burnt orange. I am going to just mist with a little bit of water if I can find my water thingy. There it is. A tiny bit. That's all right. It doesn't matter if you're late because it's still available, or it will be available on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page. I would encourage you, if you're watching it back, to watch it back on YouTube though, because then we get watch hours. So Phil and I want to build up our watch hours, because it's all good for us. So I'm just, am I doing it off camera? Getting carried away. So I'm just dragging the piece of cut and dry foam over the tips of the petals, and you can see it when it dries. It's going to be lovely and pearlescent because of the metallic. You're welcome, Jean. It's not a problem. If you've ordered any of the Creative Expressions Halloween stamps and dies, or woodware stamps Halloween, I've been notified that I'll get stock on Tuesday. It is actually release date on Tuesday, so I will get, given that our sorting office shuts at 4 now, every day except Monday when it shuts at 12. Obviously it won't be there that Monday. I'll try and get as many orders out as I can. Do I need it again? I don't think I need it again, so we can put that into our thingy, into our water. And hopefully I will get the my stock from Sentimentally Yours this weekend, and I can post those out on Tuesday. If I order extra stock, I probably won't get it till Thursday. So using our pointy tweezers, we're going to do this kind of flower. I have got all my flowers done, so don't worry. I'm not going to do 97 million, but not everybody has seen this. So I'm just using the pointy tweezers from Sentimentally Yours, and just pinching the edges. So I've got two of the blooms, shabby blooms, the same size. So if anything's out of stock, you just click on the email when available button. And if it's Sentimentally Yours and I need to order any more, then as soon as it's available, you'll get notified. The offer on my website is valid until midnight on Monday night. So if I do order anything between now and Monday night, I'll add the stock on, and you'll just have to wait a little bit longer until I get it. And hopefully it'll be sort of Thursday, Friday next week when I get my second lot. Never know how busy things are going to go. And I'm going to use moulding mats. I do have some of these in the pre-love section on my website. And we're going to shape the back of this. So just drag an embossing tool over the back. This is a Dreamweaver one. I think I might have some of these still in stock. Just drag it so it becomes like a spider, and then we can turn it over and give that spider a bit of a... The spiders are coming in now, aren't they? There's rain. Yeah, there's no post today. It's on they're on strike today, and they're on strike on Wednesday. So we're just going to add some Sentimentally Yours PVA to the centre, and then try and offset these. They aren't symmetrical, these flowers, because they're like flowers in real life. So sometimes they move and they're not perfect, which does bug me a little bit, but that's real life, isn't it? And then we've got another flower that we put in the centre, a little bit of glue rather, and then we're going to put this Shabby Daisy, which I'm using like a stamen. You can obviously use your sensational stamens or your sensational stamens too, and pop that in the centre if you want to. We've got a lovely bit of metallic from the gold in the centre on the black, and we've got the burnt orange on the corners. And I do like the way that the burnt orange is lighter here and it fades to being darker there. I don't know if you can see that. It's really difficult, isn't it? So in the centre, because we're doing pink and orange, the pearl I've got is, and you can only get pearls from Honeypot Crafts. It's vintage pink that I'm using, and I'm going to grab my pickup tool. These are invaluable, these pickup tools. I'm just manipulating it to warm it up a bit, so then we can actually pick up our pearl and pop it in the centre. Don't use this to push down because you'll ruin it. Use your finger, or Phil uses tweezers. So we've got our little pearl in the centre there. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? You use colours out of your comfort zone. I actually think that kind of oranges and yellows are kind of happy colours, and yeah, I really like them. Right, let's crack on. Let's see if we're ready to actually construct. I think we might be. Right, let's get my bits. Oh no, we've got to do some colouring as well, haven't we? We'll construct and then we'll colour. That's what we're doing. Let's actually do something. So you can see I've got all my flowers here. I've got 5. And oh, this is my sentiment. I was going to go dream, be happy. That's what I was going to do. Well, we'll see whether the live and love works better. I don't know, but we're not putting that in at the moment. So we've got Elegant Ebony, and this is the Super Smooth, because so the colours all match. I mean, it's a bit of a waste of the Super Smooth, but the colours all match. And it's not small, but it's not as big as what Phil does, I don't think. So this is 7.5 inches by 8 3/4. Obviously, because I've got layers, obviously, but you can actually go down and have not such a big oval for your frame, so you don't have to do it as big as this. So we're going to pop this. As soon as you pop this onto black, it really pops. Is Charmaine on? Hello, Charmaine, my lovely. How's Ed? How's Ed? Ed's fine. He had his little cat checkup, his annual checkup on Wednesday, and he's because he's a house cat now, because he's been in one too many fights. He's been in since May, so May, June, July, yeah, about 4 months he's been in, 3-4 months. He's put on 200 grams. That's probably our fault for giving him treats and things, and he's less active, so we've got to adjust his food. He's a big cat anyway. Got to adjust his food a bit, which I have done, because we always weigh his food anyway. And yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's taken to being a house cat very well. He would still love to go out, but he's actually very well behaved, which is amazing. Let's just check that straight. I do like that. I'm very happy with the way this background's turned out. Very happy. So we're going to put some foam tape on here. We're not going to do it quite as deep as Philip. In fact, I think he does do it too, doesn't he? Yeah, we'll go 2. You've just seen a postman. Ooh. Ooh. Maybe shouldn't there, because I spoke to our sorting office, and they said that there was one place in Milton Keynes that would be accepting post right over the other side, so I'm afraid I'm not going over there. But he said I'd have to go past the picket lines, so I'm not doing that. So that's weird. Go and accost him, Jean, and ask him what's going on. You're getting a new phone, Bev. Phil's just got a new phone. I'm all right with mine. Mine's a couple of years old now, but I'm all right with mine. In fact, it might not be. I think I got it in June 2020. Oh yes, it must be. Mine's an 11. Okay. Now I could have obviously done this a bit ahead of time, but I do like to be able to press my my black matte into my background so that it's not all crinkly. Otherwise I would have done it ahead of time. I do sometimes do that, and I think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. I do it on the telly all the time, especially when I need to trim borders. Sticky stuck to me. Right, so that's then going, this would be your base card, obviously. And stand up to see if this is straight. Like so. And then we'll put our frame on. And I'm going to go for my this is the stock. Well, this is left over from years ago when Sue Wilson gave it to me. It's what they use in when they're doing mounting stamps. But you can get slightly thinner sheets, so this would be like 2 sheets put together. This is called Credit Expressions mounting cushion, I think it's called. But because it goes round corners, and you can also take it off, you know, if you don't get it right, you can take it off. I really like this stuff. I just found some that Sue had given me ages ago. So I've had this, must have had this 13 or 14 years perhaps. It's amazing what you find when you have a bit of a clear out. Yeah, you can just put a sentiment in the middle. Yeah, Pam's saying she loves the background. Lou, Lou, yes. Well, look, Lou. There's my journal page, my Studio Light journal page. I did it. Yes, Sharon. Ed doesn't like being in sometimes, and if he spots another cat in the garden, his periscope goes up. You know, his neck does all this contorted kind of thing, and he scrapes at the patio door because, you know, another cat shouldn't be in his back garden. But, you know, it's for his own good, really, because, you know, he was injured. I took him to the vets. They kind of glued him back together, and then he went out and got injured again. So I thought, I'm not having that. When I move, I'll get him a catio. That's the plan anyway. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but he's going to have a catio with lots of climbing things in it. Right, so now we've got our background. So normally I wouldn't have cut that out like that. It would still be a page like before, and then I'd just trim it. But because I figured it would be easier for you to see it like this. So we need our lines to be straight. This is the challenging bit, and our oval, which is the most difficult shape to line up in the world. Is that straight? That, we'll go with that. And then this is going on our background. Yeah, Bev saying she started watching Lou's Moodling and really enjoying it. One of these days I will have the time to sit down and moodle with Lou. One of these days. Not in the near future, but a distant future maybe. Yeah, definitely going to get a catio. Okay, so check that's straight. You have to tell me if it's straight. Looks, I'm on a wonk anyway. Yeah, we're going with that. Look at that pop of colour with the black and the sort of cream from here. Pop of colour is absolutely fantastic. So obviously I'm going to put elements in. So I think what we'll do, before we put all the flowers on, we'll just colour our elements so we know exactly where we're going with the flowers, because I might not use them all. I don't know. But so I've got, actually I might use Dream and Be Happy. I can't like that, so we'll keep the other things for another project. So we've got our ticket and we've got our butterflies and we've got our trio frame. So like I say, these are from the inspired ones. Am I going to add any more colour to that? I don't think I am. No, I'm not going to add any colour to those. But we want to just add a little bit of colour to this. So I'm going to actually use my watercolour pens because they're my favourite. And I don't need reds. I need oranges and pinks. And they're not in the same one. Of course they're not. I've actually sorted mine into colours now as I gave up, because I started to forget where they all belonged, and so now they are all in colour order. So I know where some of them colours are from, but some of them I don't. Like for instance, I do know that what I'm going to colour the hand in with is from set 3, because set 3's got some skin tones in. So I'm just going to take the skin tone one and just colour in the hand, just so it's not anemic. And then we're going to take, I normally grab just an offcut of you know, your bits that are left over. I mean, you can get sentiments on here, and I normally take those and decide, crash bang wallop. I normally do a little bit of a swatch and decide what colours are going to go. So that colour is going to look quite nice. I don't want them to necessarily disappear into the background. That's a bit lighter, but there's not a lot of difference between them. Got some reds. I might need to go into the reds actually, because one of the reds is quite an orangey red, because we're using our crackling campfire. We want to be orangey red, so that's kind of orangey red, isn't it? So for this one, this is the one, actually this is the one I was going to put a pen on, wasn't it? What did I do with my pen bit? Disappeared, didn't I? I was going to do a pen body. Let's get another pen out. I think it's when I was doing those corners and I forgot them. Let's do a pen body for this one, because we can. So I'm gonna just cut off the antenna. Ouch! Actually, you could keep those just in case you accidentally cut the antenna off something else. And then that's going to go on there, like so. So we're going to use, we need to keep an eye on the time because Mr. M, and I want to give you a chance to get a cuppa before he comes on. So we'll aim to finish in the next 15 minutes, right? So let's just put some of this darker one on first. Now remember, with watercolour blending brush pens, you can scribble some onto your mat and you can add some water and watercolour them as they are. You can also blend them together. So we've got that there like that, and then we can bring in, actually, I think that's a bit close. I'm going to change my mind, sorry. I'm going to go for the lighter one, or a lighter one. What's this one? It's too light. What's this one? I think that was that one, wasn't it? Let's go for this one. So you can blend them together as well. So I'm just starting on the edge, like that. And then we can actually blend them so that the red blends into the orange. And it's seamless. I just love these pens. Yeah, what Ilona says. What Ilona's just said. So a simple solution here. Enjoy Phil's shows with his fabulous demos on Create and Craft, and buy goodies direct from Honeypot or Julia. I would encourage you to do that. So because I'm in this colour story, in fact, do we want him pink? It could be a lady's finger. It doesn't have to be a man's finger, does it? So let's have a look at this one. Yeah, that's a good match. So let's have pink going on here. So we can, with this one, let's have a body. Where's the browns? Have the body in brown. This is the simplest colouring ever. Easy peasy. And let's take that one. Yeah, that one. So we're going to put this one here. So this is the one I used on the edge, I think. I don't know, I'm getting confused now. So we're doing exactly the same thing, but we're doing this with this colour, the second colour, and then we're going to blend out with pink. Because you can. These are wonderful. These are my original set. I'm still using my pens that I've had for, I think it's 3 years. Yeah, 3 years next month. 3 years in September. I did my first shows for Phil on the telly. So yeah, they've lasted really well. Don't worry about contaminating the end of your pen, your tip, because you just kind of clean them off on a piece of card if you were that bothered. But they're still going, and I've used them so much. I use them for virtually all they're my go-to pens. If I need to do any colouring, I use these pens. So there's in fact, if I want to pull that out a little bit more, because I'm finding that is jarring a little bit, just a little bit more pink. It does settle down as well into the card as it dries, so you don't need to worry too much. So those they, and then I'll just do my trio foams. In fact, I think I'll do these in pink as well, so that, because the red's a bit more dominant. I always go outside the lines. That's just me and my glasses. cream. And I've got to do that pen as well, wherever I'll put it now. I've lost it again. There it is. It doesn't want to go on my card. How rude. Doing 10 minutes. I do want to show you my little notebook as well. So I think we're going to have to do another live. So as I said, I'll be doing an Indigo Blue live at 11 o'clock tomorrow on the Indigo Blue Facebook page and on Indigo Blue Tube YouTube channel. So I probably won't do one on Sunday as well, because I think 3 days on the trot might be a bit too much. But I'll also be doing one on when's the 31st? Wednesday. That's with Fairy Hogs. So let's have, we'll do this in brown as well. I'll put my pens away in a bit. So we do that because it's their body in brown. Actually, we'll take, let's do that colour. Pink. I'll pink it away. No, I didn't. I'm just coordinating. That's all I'm doing. Coordinating with my background colours. Oh, where did I put them? Have I put the brown somewhere else? To use that one instead. I know it's normally silver, but I don't want silver on my card. Right, so we've got all our bits, they're all coloured in, blah, 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 blah. Pens out the way. Where's that brown? It's hiding from me. Right. So I was thinking if we're going to do flowers, we want, I normally do top right and bottom left. I don't know why, but I do. So where's my other leaf? These are, this is the succulent foliage. So we can do perhaps 2 up there and 3 down here. So you can make it pretty, you know, and then I might stick this together afterwards. Dream. That's obviously going to go on foam tape. Dream. Be happy. You can even have perhaps that down there like that. I'll probably faff around with this a little bit. And that go in the body there, like so. I'll have some first class tickets down there. So hold that up. I'm not stuck it because I want to show you something else before we sign off, and I know what Phil's on the telly soon. So that's what I'm thinking I'll probably do. And then I'll put a pearl in each corner as well, one of them pink pearls in each corner. Okay? Right, okay, so that's that. Now just before we sign off, I will put it together and I will show you. So I've already shown you these here, the A6 stamps all stamped out. So you've got Serenity, you've got Peaceful, you've got Calmness and Tranquility. I think that's all the names of them. What I've also done is I've used my Studio Light dies, and I've actually used the the bigger ones. So I've got these in stock on my website. These are the tall, slim ones. And so I've used this outside die here to cut myself a journal cover. So this is just an A6 piece of card, just slightly over, so it's on the outside. And then I've got some other little, these are 90mm book rings, which I do have, the woodwear ones, I've got them on my website. I do have another couple that I can put in, and obviously I haven't got my book rings on there. And then I've used some of these little edges that there are in this set. It's fine that they're longer, it doesn't matter. So I've used those, and I've cut my journal out, and this one's stitched. See, it's got stitching in the edges. You can of course use the holes, the holy die from that set, and also the some of the edger dies that Phil does. So your graceful deep edges, you could use those, and the original thinner ones that haven't been in stock for ages. So I've just cut different edges out with those. So these are ready for me to colour and to add extra elements from the texture stamps. So and I will decorate the cover as well. So this will be another live or two that we do. Maybe I'll record bits of it as well, but that's something that you can do with this. And of course, as we've seen from some of the other samples from the design team, you can actually just use the A6 ones on their own. I think that's one on a smaller card, and then, you know, either make it bigger by stamping in the background, or you can obviously add borders to it as well. So definitely the little stamps aren't to be missed. They are definitely useful as well. I just haven't touched on them in this particular demonstration, but I will definitely do them. These are Phil's new stamps, Lou. It's his Notebook Botanicals, and he's launching them on Create and Craft at 12 noon today, and he's got another show at 5 p.m. today. You can find the stamps on my website at the moment. Obviously I haven't checked what's happened while we've been live, and you can get a discount by entering yours 10 in the discount code box at checkout, and that's valid till midnight on Monday night. Or while stocks last. But I will be keeping an eye on the stock. I'm going to check it in a minute, and I will order some more if I can. And yeah, and don't forget, if you on Honeypot Crafts, there is a full bundle of all 8 stamps. I only sell individuals, but there is a bundle of all 4 A5 and all 4 A6 that you can get from honeypotcrafts.co.uk with a discount on it. And yeah, so that's it. Don't forget that Phil's on at 12, but obviously I'm going to encourage you to watch him and then support the smaller companies. So hopefully I'll see you on the Indigo Blue channels tomorrow, and I will be live again on Wednesday with Fairy Hugs at 11 a.m. and I will post into the Crafting with Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours group and on my Facebook page where my next live will be. I suspect we might do this next Sunday morning at 11 if you're around then. And anyway, have a great bank holiday weekend, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.